Join us for a review of the BMW M8 Gran Coupé. Let's go! Here the M8 has these very big openings, these gaps for more air intake, also dark frames around, carbon fiber use, even more intensified in the competition pack. And usually you already have adaptive LEDs as standard for all 8 series vehicles. And in the M8 you also get the laser lights included. These have a special function for the high beam. 5 meters 08, 16 foot 8 or 200 inches is the length of the BMW 8 Series Gran Coupé, so the 4-door version. You can see here the M8 of course gets this sportier styling, for example 20-inch wheels, pretty massive here today in the Spire design. Then we have a special matte black paint today. This one looks wow, I mean this is a pretty cool thing. Or is it too much for you? What do you think? The carbon fiber roof is included in the M8. However, if you want more carbon fiber, for example here the caps of the side mirrors, this is then an additional carbon fiber package. Yeah, they very well know how to get even more money from you. Suspension-wise, by the way, all 8 series vehicles come with the BMW adaptive suspension. Here in the M car, it has a special very stiff setup then. And you know, this car has so many things already included. I mean, it's also super expensive, but one of the options is that you can get these ceramic brakes here. And they are of course even more massive, even more powerful and without any fading effect. And here we go with the rear, which includes the massive design change if you compare the M8 to the normal 8 series model here. Because we have, for example, more carbon fiber here, then the massive exhaust pipes here, sports exhaust. You also get a sports differential here from standard equipment here for this vehicle. And the carbon fiber lip here on top. Tail lamps again, very horizontal, LED daytime running light, M8 competition badge then here for this competition package. At the moment in Germany only the competition model is available. It depends on market to market if you can get it with or without the competition pack. Also the 4.4 liter V8 twin turbo, but in the M8 then with 600 horsepower or the competition 625 horsepower. And 3.3 or 3.2 seconds is the acceleration figure. 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. And if you wonder, yeah, this beautiful engine cover, this is one of the few extras. Look at the interior right here, steering wheel with controls on the left side. This one only equipped with a normal cruise control in this case. So yeah, I mean, they could have made the adaptive one included, right? Right side then, for example, for voice inputs. Also the M colors at the inside of the steering wheel. It can also be heated, by the way. Sadly, for all 8 series models, only animal skin surface available. That's not sporty. You slide on it, it gets really hot in summer, and of course, it's bad for animals and the humans involved in the process, so they need to offer alternatives there. However, what is cool that you have this M8 logo right there, and it's also illuminated at night. Special feature for the M8, here the M1 and the M2 button, so they can be individualized, so you can set different driving mode characteristics on these hotkey buttons and individualize your racing experience. So let's get inside. It's of course a big car, but I can say it doesn't feel so much like a big car from the inside. So the relation exterior length to interior space, Yeah, oh, there's someone interested in our camera from the insects. So, but yeah, I mean, it's still comfortable here for tall persons in the front. Interior overview with this massive split here. Yeah, you don't have so much space in right and left, but it looks pretty impressive. This will be the LED ambient lighting, by the way. Left side, 12.3-inch digital instruments, soon more details to that. Right side, 10.25-inch screen with touch, and also soon more details to that, of course. You have a special shifting lever. You can change the shifting characteristics right here. And it also works in a different way than with normal BMWs. Here in the M cars, you have it like this for reverse, right for the driving mode, or again for sports driving mode. And this would be neutral. So really different setup. Left next to it, some buttons for the camera, DSC, start stop engine red. Then the M mode, who is changing of the assistance systems behavior. Setup would then be to change how you want to have that everything, and the exhaust note button. Digital instruments come alive here when you start the car, good visualizations, and the RPMs go counterclockwise because then in the middle you have space, for example, also for a GPS map display or something, and then you get used to it. And overall, the orientation of that one is actually quite cool and quite clever. It changes, by the way, when you are in this sport mode, so then it looks a little bit more aggressive, pretty fancy. And it actually also changes the view of the head-up display. And the head-up display is actually standard equipment. You can see it right here, how you can check the RPMs in there. And if you are in the normal mode, actually, it also changes then here to a more simple view, but you can also have some GPS infos in there. That's pretty cool. And here again, how you can set up everything. So from four-wheel drive to four-wheel drive sport with a little bit more play and more rear-wheel bias, and then to two-wheel drive only mode. You can only put that one when you have the ESC set off completely, by the way. Yeah, interesting decision. Then the map looks like this. Has guided me very well, always on different driving events as well. This software is a used BMW software available. It's actually pretty cool. And you can also use the voice input, either with pressing it on the steering wheel or saying, "Hey BMW, drive me to Munich."
Perfect. Munich is our next destination.
So now to the rear, you get the idea that it's pretty dark in there, especially with the black headlining and so on. And it does work legroom-wise, even if tall people are driving. So that's the big advantage then, four-door coupe versus the two-door coupe. Now to the trunk area, 440 liters it is. Well, it's not much, but you're also not lost. The length here is actually 1 meters and 10, and the width in the bottom part is about 80 centimeters, a little bit more than in the upper part, above this step. Here, by the way, I just keep in this roundabout to show you a very good control of the car and how stiff the car is remaining here. So it's not leaning at all in this corner. That's, look at that. And I can even drive faster and nothing is happening. So, and it's not a small vehicle, it's pretty big. Also entering here, wow, that's really cool. Very nice. So, welcome to Thomas's Active Driving Lounge. We'll soon floor this car all the way out. This will be very interesting, and later on I'll also talk a little bit more about driving it in everyday city traffic and so on. So what's really interesting is that we have so many things we can adjust with this vehicle. But just if you are starting it and then, hammer the throttle or use the shifting pedals to shift down yourself, and just one on the throttle and you're like, wow, need to check the speed again, I'm already too fast. So you really have to be aware of that. This is such a car where, it just screams for speeding tickets. So really have to pay attention to that, definitely. Also, all the 911 models on the road here at the moment. So some beautiful countryside, and soon we'll also then head out to the motorway. One of the very interesting things here, by the way, I want to show you, and I'm just getting in this, C road or something, because of accelerating out of the corner. So what you should not do is deactivate the ESC system. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. But please don't do this. it's not recommended for public roads and so on. I'm just doing it because you had the question, what about this rear-wheel drive? Yeah, so it is possible, but only if you deactivate the ESC completely, and then you can actually go to the setup menu and then pick the two-wheel drive mode. So only possible when the ESC is being deactivated. And I've been driving the 6-cylinder with the rear-wheel drive only, and that was pretty cool. But here, of course, only the combination when everything else is deactivated. And well, of course, when you accelerate out of a corner, like here from standstill, then you realize it. Get the real push from the rear. It's really nice. It's definitely a cool feeling. But again, this is rather reserved for non-public road use. Of course, when everything is dry now, it's somewhat okay. Most drivers will very well cope with that still. But the traction is lost quite easily, of course, and especially when the road is wet. So now for a proper acceleration. I still want the car to do the shifting because then we can show what is optimum possible. So I go to this M1 mode, which is still set to the automatic shifting, but already now more aggressive shifting mode, and start at 50 kilometers an hour. Let's go. Plop, that's 200 kilometers an hour or 125 miles per hour, and this feels like nothing for the vehicle. And I mean, look at how stable it remains here, and also not too loud. There was a BMW X5 behind us, I don't even see it anymore. Now lane change at 200 kilometers an hour. What? It's like nothing, It's like you would usually do a normal Autobahn lane switch like at 100 or something. That's how it feels in this vehicle. And now on the brakes, very stable here when being hard on the brakes. Wow, nice. I mean, I wasn't even hammering the brakes hardly, so just like half, or maybe not even half. And I felt in my brain, it's like, oh, wait a minute. It's like the body is like split, So when you decelerate that hard already, sometimes your body cannot cope, So when you're not doing it every day, so I feel like you're being in two positions at the same time. It's very interesting. So yeah, definitely very impressive. And I mean, you can switch so much around with the driving modes here, depending on just how you like it. Now we're heading towards our tunnel, and yeah, let's turn down that window. Oh, not this one. Sorry. The other one. So, and we can use the manual shifting here, of course, to get down in some gears, and it sounds a little bit better. So drop down just a little bit. Yeah, why not? But you realize that the sound is not too extreme, so it's not like reason in Jaguar F-Type or something. So what about if we are already at speed at 100 kilometers an hour? Let's go to the M1 mode again, and let's go. Wow. I mean, that's so 100 kilometers an hour to 200, or 60 miles an hour to 125 miles an hour feels in this car like a 40 to 80 acceleration in a normal vehicle or something, So this is so effortless, and I mean, it doesn't scream out too much. It's just like it's doing this as it would be just like a very, very easy exercise. So a very, sophisticated acceleration feeling, and especially also because it's again distributed a little bit between the two axles, with the all-wheel drive. So this is again one of the advantages of that one then. Well, and if you drive it in an agile way here or slalom-wise, that's like, wow, so cool. Then you always feel how aggressive this car is. Always tells me, attack, attack, attack. Look at that. I mean, Again, steering can be a little bit more precise here in the low degree angle corners and a little bit more resistant. Okay, in a different driving modes you can also set it differently, but this is maybe missing a little bit. But the funny thing is also, when I compare with the 840i, again, the rear-wheel driven only 6-cylinder model, I wouldn't say I had less fun with that one, because you have the rear axis steering in the non-true M model, and that is giving so much more to this vehicle. Easier to ease it around when parking in and out and so on, and also giving you a very agile feeling while driving. The M here doesn't have it. The stiff suspension makes it agile. And now to the conclusion for today with the BMW M8 Gran Coupé. Has been a very interesting ride. Of course, exterior is really striking, a pure design object. Here in the M trim, of course, more aggressive, even sportier than all the other models. Interior-wise, the thing is, I mean, this long hood, yeah, I mean, it actually delivers then less space on the interior. That's the thing about it. So you don't have much space on the interior. That's the thing about this vehicle, although it's actually quite large. The build quality is actually quite top-notch. That's no issue at all. And of course, you're a little bit more flexible than just with the two-door coupe. Driving-wise, of course, true sporty M feeling, not so much of compromise. The suspension is very stiff. You do lose a lot of comfort in everyday driving life. Then you have a lot of agile driving feeling when the roads are quite even. And of course, the acceleration is just overwhelming. But yet, at the same time, it's somehow collected, especially then with the all-wheel drive, that you can also well control it. Again, the two-wheel drive mode would also be possible, but in most situations this will not play such a big role, especially with this very vehicle. If you want more compromise, then it would be the M850i, still this 8-cylinder engine, but then a little bit more comfort for your everyday driving life, and of course still always a lot of power. And I said it in the driving part, I already had a lot of fun with the 6-cylinder model, which is also available rear-wheel drive only. That would be the best price performance for an 8 Series Gran Coupé. So you can check out different versions of the BMW 8 Series here on Autogefuhl. So if you're finished now with this episode, please tune into other interesting episodes. We will link them in the video description and also in the pinned comment. Yeah, and then at the end of the day, it's about pricing as well, whereas a base 8 Series is already quite expensive, but you can get it below 100k euros or dollars. This one then here, at least 165,000, and with some extra specs, yeah, there are still some left, you get even a little bit higher. And then of course you have to ask yourself, does it deliver so much more fun than one of the base models? Yeah, I mean, that's definitely doubtful. But in this very top M segment, the price doesn't play such a big role. However, we on Autogefühl always keep it in mind and always rate the cars also according to their prices. So what do you think about this vehicle here for today? Please share your thoughts in the comments, and see you at one of our other episodes that are related to this one. Or of course, stay subscribed for the very new episodes. Thank you so much.